Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Feyi and I film videos from Ontario, Canada. I talk about my life in Canada as a new immigrant and how to get here. Okay, thanks for tuning in today. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up. That's how we mark attendance around here. Okay, give this video a thumbs up, like, comment, subscribe if you aren't already subscribed. Today, I have a special guest. I have a special guest for you guys today. Her name is MC, aka SLE Canada, and I've brought her on this channel today to discuss her journey as a new immigrant in Canada or as an international student turned, a worker and all of that. So go ahead and introduce yourself, MC.
Hello, guys. I'm MC Guzman. I'm the content creator of SE Canada. I don't know if someone already watched some of my videos because I have a lot of Nigerian viewers as well. So I'm from the Philippines and I moved out of the Philippines like way back, and I worked in Dubai for almost 6 years, and then I came here. In Canada in 2017 December. So I was a nurse, and then I work in Dubai as a project coordinator, and now I work here as a business administrator. So basically, came here as an international student. So yeah, I'm a
Nice.
single mom. Yeah.
Awesome. And you have a YouTube channel. Can you tell us a bit more about what you do on your YouTube channel?
Yes, I have a YouTube channel, just Feyi Mac. I share about immigration. I share about my journey as an international student. I also share about success stories of our fellow international students, and I also have a FB group for Filipino and for other nationality, which is the SE Student Lounge. So you guys are welcome to join us there. And I also have a live discussion with the immigration consultant where if you have any general immigration that I could not answer anymore, we have an immigration consultant as well.
Awesome.
It's
That's
like
good.
really generous to answer those
That's
questions.
really good.
Yes.
Okay, you guys, MC has a very interesting story, okay?
Unusual.
Yeah, we had a chat yesterday and I was like, oh my gosh, like you have to come talk to my audience because they have a lot to learn from your story.
Yes.
So I guess my first question would be, why did you decide to move to Canada as an international student?
Yeah, so as you know, like I went to Dubai first before I came here in Canada, and I also told you that I'm a single mom. So I left the Philippines and I left my little boy in the Philippines, and thinking that I need to go abroad outside the Philippines to have a brighter future for my son. So I went to Dubai. I worked there for 6 years. And the only thing that it was like struggle for me, it was so hard to get my son in the Middle East because they have that restriction for single mom that you need to have that minimum wage. Like there's a certain salary that you have to reach, which is it's high. And it was so hard for us to be together because I'm a single mom, and then it was so hard to afford education in the Middle East. It's not free.
Wow.
Healthcare is not free. And as a single mom, how would you take care of your son? You need to have another person to look after while you're working. So it was so hard. And I was like working there for 6 years, and I felt like it's like a vicious cycle that how can we be together, you know? Because Middle East is they don't have that family unification. They don't have that citizenship. You're just a temporary worker in the Middle East, basically. And I want to change that. I think I don't want to be in a typical situation like overseas Filipino workers that you work abroad, you save money, and then you go back to your home to retire. And that's like not my goal. That's not my goal because whenever I go home to the Philippines, so I go home once or twice a year, I always want to go back to Dubai. I always want to move out of my country. Like no offense to my country, my fellow Filipinos, but I cannot stand like how slow our internet is, how traffic it is. I cannot live anymore in my own country. I don't see myself anymore to retire there. So I was like, okay, I have to find another place where I can settle, where I can call it new home, or where I could be like permanent resident. So now I found Canada, and what I like about Canada is that you can bring your family even though you're a student, and also like once you get your PR, automatic your dependents like your spouse or if you have children, they get the permanent residency as well. So that's the main reason why I moved here, because you can be with your family,
Mm-hmm.
right? The government is actually supporting that. So
Yes,
yes.
exactly. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing
Mhm.
that. So you came as an international student. How was that process like for you?
Yeah, so I started my search in 2016 December, and I found Quebec first. I found Quebec. It was easy to immigrate in 2016 in Quebec. But however, they have this rule that you need to learn French. You need that certain level. But I tried to learn it using the Duolingo app, but I just realized that it's not gonna work because I cannot learn new language in an instant because I want to move out of Dubai. Like I was
Right.
so decided I'm gonna move. And then now I searched another province and I found this little province of Nova Scotia, which they can use you can Nova Scotia as well. And then the reason why I picked Nova Scotia is that it's the cost of living is affordable, and as per the internet, the weather is moderate, which is not, by the way. And then the program that I got that's business at in accounting, and I can start in January right away. So during that time, I have to move out by January. I want to move out right away. And then I went to Nova Scotia Community College. So
Okay.
yeah, so
Yeah.
that's where I met my partner, my current partner now.
Nice. So we were in Nova Scotia at the same time, kind of. I went to Nova Scotia in
Ooh.
2015 and I left in 2018. So that
Oh,
2017, that means we were in Nova Scotia at the same time.
you left
That's
when I
nice
came.
province. Yes.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Mhm. So yeah, okay. So tell me what your greatest lesson has been with your journey in Canada.
Yeah, my greatest lesson I would say is that it's okay to move and it's okay to, be spontaneous in
Hmm.
whatever decision you will make.
Not
So
to myself.
yes.
Being spontaneous, Faye.
I'm kind of person that I always plan everything. I have an
Mhm.
Excel sheet that I have a plan for 10 years for myself. At first, I don't know if I'm going to go back to the Philippines. So I plan everything. I went to Nova Scotia. I will immigrate through Nova Scotia. And then, boom, I met my partner, Felix. He's the opposite. He's very
Mhm.
spontaneous. He doesn't plan ahead. I think the
Mhm.
longest plan that he can do is 6 months. That's it. I said,
Mhm.
no, you have to plan your future. But the force between us, it's like Felix is stronger than me, you know. So
So he brought you over to the other side.
yeah, so he dragged me to the other side. So he's not Filipino, he's German, and we met in
Mhm.
school. So he changed me to be spontaneous. That
Mhm.
everything's going to be figure outable at the end of the day, right?
And you got really spontaneous.
Yes, because so I came in Nova Scotia, I finished my school, and then now Felix got a job in Toronto. So now
Mhm.
I had to leave Nova Scotia. So we drove from Nova Scotia to Toronto, and I don't have any, like, I just quit my part-time job since I finished school. Okay, let's go to Toronto. He said,
So let's hold on. Let's pause there. So you didn't take a flight. You drove
we
from Nova
drove.
Scotia to Toronto. That's like 18 hours, right?
Yes, it's normal for us to drive like that because we went to Toronto so many times before we decided to move.
Oh,
We
and
we
you
visited Toronto so many times.
So when you drive to Toronto from Nova Scotia, do you like stop in different places, or do you just drive 18 hours and get there?
Whenever we drive somewhere, we always stop. We
Okay.
put like a leisure into it. So we also
Mm.
see things like we went to Quebec, we went to New Brunswick, we went to PI. So before we
Wow.
left Atlantic, we went to different places already.
Wow.
And yes, and sometimes there are times that you will like we are frugal, guys.
Mm-hmm.
We're not living luxury life here in
Mm-hmm.
Canada.
Mm-hmm.
So for us to afford that, we have to sleep in our car. So we put all our shit together in one car. We actually have two cars, so we drove two cars to Toronto, and then
So you drove one and he drove one?
yes, two
I,
cars.
oh my God.
Because in Nova Scotia, where I live in Kentville, you need to have a car. We were not in Halifax. So if you
Yeah,
are going to live in Nova Scotia, there are like part that you need to have a car because
because the public transport system isn't that great. Mm-hmm.
yes, it bosses like every 2 hours. So when we were moving, we had to move all our stuff because we don't want to buy a new one, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now he got a job. Now we're in Toronto. Like that was like 2019 when we moved. After we even like went back to Nova Scotia to attend the graduation. We drove back to Nova Scotia. Normal for us to drive
Oh my God. I don't know how you guys do it.
because we
Ah,
moved out May, and then he had to start the job, and then the graduation was June, and we went back to school and
from
attended
graduation.
graduation for like we only stayed for 1 week, and we went back to Toronto.
And
And
you guys remember this is 18 hours one way,
yeah,
right? So at the end of the day, it was probably like a 2 hour drive, especially because if you stop, right? Like a 2 day drive, I mean. So okay, so let me just rewind for a little bit before we continue the Toronto story. So you said you met your partner in school.
in school we took the same program.
Wow. See, I get a lot of questions about dating, and I can't really answer them because I'm married, right? So like I didn't meet my husband here. So those are questions that I can't really answer. So for you, you moved here first and then you met your spouse in class. And I'll tell you for free that even in my class in Nova Scotia, in Halifax, two people who were my friends, they were both from Saudi. They met in class as well. We were like three friends basically in class,
Mhm.
and they ended up getting married, both of them.
Yeah,
So they're back in their home country now and they're married. So that's something that's super exciting for me, like two people on this journey of coming to study in Canada or living here in Canada and meeting and then just merging their stories into one. So that's
I
so
didn't
amazing.
know that they're interested in dating. I would have known that, and I would share my story in my channel, but Felix is so private, so
Yeah.
that's why I don't talk about it. But again, we met in school,
Yeah.
and dating we dated in school, so we did a lot of things together.
Yeah,
So
that's
that's
so
why.
cool. That's so cool.
And also, like in Nova Scotia, there are not a lot of people, and then in class we're only like 25.
Right.
And like seven of us are international students, the rest are Canadian. And they're
Wow.
like some of my classmates like met there, and then they're still together until now. So
Wow.
most of us, yeah, met our partner during
That's
school.
interesting. That's interesting. Oh
I
yeah, that's,
never,
that's
I
so
never
interesting.
anticipated
Especially,
that.
yeah, especially in Kentville, because you said you weren't in Halifax, you were in Kentville. Kentville is a small town in Nova Scotia. Nova Scotia is already a small province, and then Kentville within Nova Scotia is now even smaller. So this wasn't the big city of Halifax, because in Halifax we were about 30 in the class too, because I went to a small school, Mount St.
Mm,
Vincent, but more than half of us were international students.
mm,
So you
mhm.
guys were just seven, and you still found each other as international students. That's
Yes.
amazing.
Yes. Like
Okay.
I don't know like how we started talking, but it was like first day of class and we're
Right.
oh now I remember. He was looking for books. He was
Oh.
he was about to buy new books. And I'm like that frugal girl, right? Like, why
Yeah.
am I buying new books?
Why
So
are you buying new books?
bad. And then I found him like a seller. Hey, I found this girl. She's selling like old books, and then
Yeah.
he said, "You're so nice to me."
Aw.
Because
Aw.
I'm like, I want him to save money. And then after that, we did things together. He loves driving, and he drove me somewhere in Nova
Obviously,
Scotia.
he loves driving.
Really. We drove like we saw a lot of things in Nova Scotia. I miss
That's
Nova Scotia.
good. That's
Digby,
good.
I love it. Yeah.
So you mentioned, and that's a very good tip. You didn't buy new books. I bought new books, and I
Really?
wasted so
Oh,
much money. In my the first time I went to school in Canada, I bought new books. The second time, I did not.
that's good. That's a good.
But yeah, you can always find books. So if you're coming to Canada as an international student, keep this in mind. You don't need to buy new stuff. You can buy old books on Kijiji, right?
Yes.
Kijiji.ca. There are even websites where you can find these books. The school would like have an online library as well where you could get a couple of chapters for free and
Yes.
all of that. So some of them would even give you the full book for free online. So you don't always
Yes.
have to spend money buying new books.
Yes. I
So that's a
also
good
like on my second year, I was like, okay, I'm not gonna buy even second hand. I'm just gonna borrow a book and then copy it in the library. I use my printing credit, and then every chapter. Oh, next week, chapter 3. Hey, can I borrow your book? I'm just gonna for like 15 minutes, and then I'll copy in the library, and then boom, I have chapter 3.
Right,
I
right.
survived doing that.
Right. So that's good. And
Yeah.
then you moved from Nova Scotia to Ontario, Toronto to be precise, and
Yes.
you drove back and forth even.
Yeah.
So when you moved to Toronto, what was the impression like? What was the first coming from Kentville, Nova Scotia to Toronto, Ontario?
It was crazy. I drove in a in Nova Scotia, when you drive on like in Nova Scotia, everything is slow, everything is
Yeah.
chill. You drive like in like 30 kilometers an hour, you're good, no one's gonna honk at you. But if you're in
Mhm.
Toronto, you have to move your ass off right away. You have to fight for your spot. Like really. And driving on 401 in Toronto,
Yeah.
I just learned driving here in Canada by
Yeah.
chance. I'm not
Yeah.
driving. I had to learn,
Mhm.
and then move to Toronto, and then drive with these crazy people. You have to adopt.
I know, and the highways are so wide too. Like the 401, what, 6 lanes,
Yes.
lots of exits, and people don't like slow down. When you're merging, you're supposed to go fast. And
You
yeah,
have to
I know
go
how crazy that can
go
get.
with the flow, and then if you have to merge, if people are crazy, they merge like shoes, like transporter kind of thing. It's like
Yeah.
what?
With that, that's a good point too, because when you're doing your driving test here in Toronto, if you don't merge fast like that, you fail your driving test. If you
Oh my
slow
god,
down, they're
that's
gonna
horrible.
fail you for that. Yeah, if you slow down before you merge, they're gonna fail you for that. So even if like cars are coming, you're still supposed to find that sweet spot to just like still go in at 80 kilometers per hour, whatever the limit is, right? So if you slow down to like 50, you don't know how to drive based on the test.
That's the reason. Whenever we drive somewhere, I know if we are reaching Montreal or Toronto, when like the first time we drove across Canada, I always like switch with Felix. I cannot drive here. I'm gonna die. We are going to die. This is our last day. People are crazy here, especially in Montreal too. They're driving crazy.
Really?
But
Wow,
yeah, it was
interesting.
yeah. First thing, moving to Toronto, that's like the first adjustment I had to adopt, like the driving skills. And
Mhm.
then cost of living. It's
Mhm.
not that cheap. Everything
No.
is expensive. Your insurance, your rent. I was
Mhm.
renting in Nova Scotia for 890 for a 3-bedroom house. I moved
Wow.
to Toronto, 1500 for basement, 1-bedroom basement apartment.
That's even cheap compared to now.
I know.
Yeah,
It's
that's even cheap compared to now. You'd be lucky to find a one like $1,500 basement that's decent in Toronto right now. It's
yeah,
crazy.
it's something that you have to prepare for if
Yeah.
you're moving to a big city like Toronto or Vancouver. Expensive. It's expensive,
Yeah.
and also like the lifestyle from rural to urban. City people, we're not city people anymore. Nova Scotia changed us. Like simple,
Hmm.
we only love sightseeing, enjoy simple things. But if you're in Toronto, you will tend to spend more money.
Hmm.
A lot of things. You will see a lot of things. You'll spend money with shopping, sale, eat a lot. But I love the food in Toronto though. And then
Hmm.
like we started our job. Felix got a decent job in a German company since he's German. So, and then I started in another company, and the only downside that you move right away is that for me, I have a family to support. I need to get a job right away. So now I get a job that only pays me a minimum wage, but it's NOCP. It's good
Hmm.
for permanent residency, and that
Hmm.
was my mentality before. Like whatever jobs, as long as I can get my PR. And during
Hmm.
that time, we were not thinking to move again. But before I talk about that, so I got a job, minimum wage. I work a lot, and then Felix work a lot, 24/7 because it's a German company. So sometimes there's like time difference between here in Canada and Germany. So we realized that we are complaining every night about our jobs that it's not paying that much, and then it's so expensive here, and so it's so busy for us. And every night we complain about our job and life. And we really realize that it's not good to live like that, that you're complaining every day. So
Hmm.
the next, like that night, we decided, okay, let's quit our job.
In one night?
In one night, we spoke, like we realized that night, like we've been talking about our job. We've been complaining about our job. Like, let's quit, you know? So we quit. We filed our resignation. We gave 2 weeks to our.
Notice, yeah, because you have to, right?
We just want to stop that toxic life that we are
Mm.
experiencing. And
Mm.
then also for me, if I'm getting a minimum wage in Toronto, you cannot survive. I had
Yeah.
to have two jobs, and I don't like
Mm.
that, you know.
Mm.
And also, I got my diploma ready, and so that we move again to another province, which is the beautiful province of British Columbia.
And that's where you are now. You haven't moved again yet.
Yeah, so we only stayed in Toronto for 4 months. We tried, okay.
Oh
We
my
thought it's
God.
going to be amazing, but everything, yeah, everything like was spontaneous, you know.
Okay. So, question.
Mm.
Usually, when you move to a new apartment or something, you sign a 1 year lease, unless it specifically says not otherwise. So, did you guys sign a 1 year lease? And what did you do? Like living there for just 4 months?
We signed for 6 months.
Okay.
So we decided to quit our job and move again to another place. And then we only have like 2 months or 3 months left in our lease. And we knew that we're not gonna get the deposit, which is 1 month worth of our like rent. It was
Wait.
1,500.
Yeah.
But we weigh the cost opportunity of quitting our job or staying there. We are going to quit our job. We cannot live anymore. It was stressful for us, for
Hmm.
both of us. So that we decided to pack our things again, pack our shit together in one car. We sold another car. This time, we cannot drive two cars anymore.
Especially not to British Columbia. By air, it's about an 8 hour flight, isn't it? Like with stopovers.
Yes,
But you
yes.
fly, yeah, it's like an 8 hour journey by flight from
Yeah,
Toronto to British Columbia, right? And then you drove.
we drove. So some people if you're, oh, I have a few friends that did this. They drove from Nova Scotia to Toronto,
Okay.
and they took us. It took them 10 days, 10 days straight. No, like you only drive, you eat, you sleep, drive again. For us, it took us almost a month because we don't want to drive.
Wait, hold on. This is from Toronto to British Columbia.
No, my friend in Nova Scotia, they transferred to British Columbia as well. They drove, but
From
they
Nova Scotia
drove
to British
for
Columbia.
10 days. Yeah. But for us, we did it in almost a month because we also want to enjoy. As for us, it's like, don't stress yourself, okay? Chill. So we drove for 3 months, for almost a month, and then we live in our car, and then we camp. We never went to a hotel or what do you call that, hostel. We never did that because we're frugal. We need to save money. We lost 1,500 for our rent, right? So we live inside our car. We all our shit there, and then we camp. So if we need to take a shower, we go to a campsite. There's a free shower there. So
Really? There's free. You could take free showers on the road trip.
yes, there's actually an app where you can find free camping site. So sometimes we stop and then we stay there for three days, see sightseeing. Oh, we actually drove to Manitoba. We saw the Northern Lights. Yeah.
You guys are crazy.
We saw the northern, like we went up, like up, and then some spot of Canada, they don't have signal, they don't have phone service. So if you're using a GPS and if needs to be connected in Wi-Fi or like a satellite, it won't work. So we
So
drove
what do you
using
do
a map.
then?
We drove using like a map. We didn't use a
A
GPS.
physical map?
Yeah, regular map. Whenever we reach like an information center, okay, let's grab the map. And then you know what? I learned how to use a map.
Oh
We're not
my
relying on
god.
GPS anymore.
You
But
guys are something else.
yeah,
And
it's
you only
different.
just got to Canada in 2017, three
Yeah.
years ago. So you basically driven through like almost all the provinces, right?
Yes, almost yes. Except for the northern territories, okay.
Well, might as well now because
we're tempted to do that, but nope. We have to like save up money. Felix is crazy. But Felix did that 3 times already. He drove Canada 3 times already.
the whole of Canada.
Yeah. So he went here 7 years ago. He was on holiday visa, but
Okay.
he also used the public transportation like a bus. You can also like you can also see Canada using bus. You'll be in the
Yeah.
bus for 3 days to reach Edmonton from BC to Edmonton.
And then so how long do you spend for the whole of Canada? Like 2 months?
Oh, like for the whole journey from Toronto to British Columbia, everything for 1 month, 2,500. But we saw Canada. Okay, it's not just we didn't just drive. We had a leisure time. And also that's not my advice. If you're coming here as an international student, take note that once you started working, you only have 2 weeks vacation. And that's it. Sometimes 3 weeks, but it will take time to get to accumulate another week for your vacation. So that's why in our head, let's do this now before we start.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was crazy. So Northern Lights, we saw a bear. We saw a bear. Yeah, it's cool.
Where?
In Ontario, Northern Ontario, there it's normal.
A polar bear?
A polar bear. It's a black bear.
Oh my god.
I was afraid too. So that's why when we went for we drove and we camped. I have that bear spray because I'm also afraid of bear.
So
And
you
they're
so you put the bear spur on like around you?
it's always with you. So
Okay.
with you, because bear could just be with you anytime in the campsite. If people are not, if they're not responsible enough to keep their food, you always need to keep the food away, put it in your car, make sure if you're going to camp, it's just you and the tent. No toothpaste. Everything that has a scent needs to be put away because
Otherwise, you
they might
attract.
sell it. And then boom, you have a bear sleeping with you.
My God, you guys are killing me.
Yeah, it was fun. But that was okay. So that's like my lesson, guys. It's okay to be spontaneous. Okay, everything is going to be fine. If you freaking hate your job every day, you hate it, quit. Okay, don't spend your time. Don't uh don't waste your time doing that
You're
because
right. Yeah.
your company is not gonna build a statue for you. You are replaceable, right? The next day they can just find another
Mm-hmm.
worker.
Mm.
But your time is precious, right? And also, you don't want to live like that. Every day you complain. So
Yeah.
that's like the lesson there. And also, don't sell yourself short. Like when
Mm.
I got the job in Toronto, I was thinking just PR. Okay, I'll grab it. Once I got my job here in British Columbia, I was like shocked when. By the way, I got my job while I'm driving. So we are driving. And then I was trying to find. We went to coffee shop, and I tried to find like for jobs here in British Columbia. So before we reached British Columbia, we I got the job. So I had a Skype interview. This is pre-COVID. Okay, there's no COVID during that time. I got the job interview during after quitting my job. So yeah,
So while you were driving for almost 1 month from Toronto to
I did the
British
exam.
Columbia,
I did my
you were
accounting
applying for
exam.
a job, and then you got an offer before you even
Yes,
got
I
to
got an offer, and then I told them,
the.
and they said they invited me for interview, and I told them I'm not in British Columbia yet. I'll be there in 3 weeks. And they knew that okay, then let's have a Skype interview. And then we had a Skype
Wow.
interview and they really liked me. And then okay, uh I'll be there. September 16th, I will be in the office. And I kept my word. So that's
Wow.
why during that drive, I always like, hey Felix, we can do this. I was like
Mm-hmm.
kind of limited once I got that offer. We have to be in British Columbia by this time, okay? So yeah, you can get a job. It's not hard, okay? It's not hard to get a job after quitting your job, like the first job that I got in Toronto, and then after that, I got it after 2 weeks. You know, I got a
Mm-hmm.
job, and then I was like surprised, like, huh? The offer is not that it's more than I'm expected, you
Mm-hmm.
know. So don't sell yourself short, and also
Mm-hmm.
like there are companies out there that could give you the value that you deserve. You need
Right.
to know your worth. Yeah.
Right. Even if it means moving out of Toronto, because I know that I talk a lot about Toronto being, the place for jobs. There's so many jobs because all the companies are in Toronto. They have tall towers and skyscrapers, head offices in Toronto, but that's not the only place.
Yes, yes.
And even though you moved to British Columbia, you didn't move to the biggest city there, Vancouver. You
Nope.
moved. Tell us where you moved and how
We
it's like.
moved. We moved here on the island. We're on the island, guys. So we knew that we're not moving to Vancouver. We knew that we were moving to a suburb, but like there's a balance of life and opportunity. That's what we picked because we knew that if we move to Vancouver, it's going to be the same as Toronto. It's going to be
Exactly.
toxic for us. So we moved to Victoria, but we're not living in Victoria. We're like 30 minutes away from Victoria, but we're in a rainforest of Canada. So there, like, you'll see big trees here. So we're into environment as well. We like outdoors.
Nature. Mm.
People here are like very outgoing. They do like crazy things as well.
Hmm.
So you can swim. like in Nova Scotia, you have the water, but you cannot swim because you're
Yeah.
gonna freeze.
Yeah. Yeah.
But here
What's
you
the
can,
weather like?
yeah. So we're here on the island, and
What's the weather like there?
oh, here right now it's like it's not even snowing. So I only experienced snow here on the island. It's like in the southern part of British Columbia as well. So I only experienced once, like the snow. That was
Oh,
December last year. So I'm expecting there's gonna be snow here just one day, and then after 3 days, it's gone.
wow.
The snow is gone. And
That's
then
amazing.
you know that day that we got the snow, I didn't go
Mhm.
to work. You know why? People don't know how to drive in
In the
snow
snow.
here. Yeah. So it's like, okay, I'm afraid for these people to hit me. So okay, I'm not gonna go to work. They don't
Wow.
use salt. They don't use salt here.
Here in Ontario, we have snow on the ground right now. And we
No,
have
it's
most of
sunny.
it.
You want me to show you? Okay, I'm gonna show you. It's sunny there.
It's
You
bright.
can see
Oh,
it.
oh, so bright and sunny. Oh my God.
It's sunny here. Yeah.
Wow. That's good. So now you're in British Columbia. So how do you like the transition, the difference? So, I have people who are trying to come to Canada through the Atlantic Immigration Pilot, Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, PI, Newfoundland, and some that are trying to come, to Ontario because they know that the jobs are here, and some that like BC because of the weather. So you have the best of all the worlds, like you've experienced everything. So
Yeah.
tell
So
me what tell me about it. What do you like? Compare and contrast.
okay, for Nova Scotia, what I like about that is the affordability. You can buy a house by having 100,000 Canadian dollars.
Mm,
You can, for some people, you can buy it cash. But
yeah.
if you move to Toronto, expect that the housing is going to be expensive. I'm not
Mm,
sure, like I could see like 700 to a million just to have a single detached house.
yeah.
But if you're going to compare it with Nova Scotia, having that kind of money, you can have a mansion.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
And then also like jobs. In Nova Scotia, if you're in IT, you might as well get a job in big cities. So it depends on your qualification too. In terms of like life, I made more friends in Nova Scotia than in Toronto. And also like the downside of always moving, is that it was so hard for us to make friends. Because
Mm.
yeah, we make friends now. Like in 4 months we move, right?
You're probably gonna move again.
So like it's so hard. But I think that Nova Scotia, I made more friends in Nova Scotia because the communities, like, they're so connected. That's
Yeah.
what I noticed. Not unlike in the city, you work,
Everyone minds their business.
you're busy,
Yeah.
right? So here in British Columbia, to compare it, again, it's expensive in
Mm-hmm.
Vancouver, but I want to change that misconception that when you say British Columbia, oh, it's expensive there, but it's not. It's not that expensive in other areas of British Columbia, like here on the island. If you go to Victoria, yes, it's expensive there, but if you move like an hour, you can afford a house, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what, like, the comparison that I can see. Again, the weather wise, way better here. My
Mm-hmm.
manager, he always go to work by like cycling. He has a bicycle. Really? And I feel like ashamed because I'm driving. So the people here, they're very outgoing, they're doing a lot of outdoor stuff. Like they bike, they like cycling, and also like in Victoria, they promote. They also encourage you to use bicycle. It's like
Mm-hmm.
Amsterdam,
Mm-hmm.
something like that.
Hmm.
So because they also use like as much as possible electric cars here.
Oh, okay.
That's what I noticed. I think I'm not sure in Toronto though, but I noticed a lot of electric cars here in British
Yeah.
Columbia. So they're more into environment, saving the environment, something
Nice.
like that.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's good to know. I'm glad you clarified that misconception about British Columbia being so expensive. Like, yes, we know it's a bit more expensive than the others, but it's like, okay, where in British Columbia? It's
yes,
the same with
very
Ontario too, right? There are places in Ontario that are just as cheap as Halifax and Nova Scotia, right?
much.
So it just depends on how far out of the big cities are you willing to
Yes.
go. So in Ontario, Toronto is expensive. We all know that.
Mhm.
And the greater Toronto area, Mississauga, Brampton, Burlington, Oakville, Milton,
Mhm.
Durham region, all of those are expensive, yes, but um, you can go outside of those areas and it's going to be more affordable. You will be able to have a decent life. It's just that the farther out you go from the city, the fewer the job opportunities too. So you just have to research and see what jobs are available in those cities. Canada is huge.
It's huge. You
It's
have a
huge.
lot of choices,
Yeah.
opportunities.
One province is like a country on its own, like the size. It's
Mhm.
huge. So, yes, Toronto and Greater Toronto area is expensive, but there are other places outside those areas that are more affordable for you. And it's the same with British Columbia, Vancouver and Greater Vancouver area. I think there's something like
Yes.
that. Yeah, is expensive, but then Victoria is a bit expensive too. But when you go outside those areas, it becomes more affordable.
Yes, yes, exactly. So you have to narrow down your choices. If you're
Yeah.
going to pick Ontario, okay, where in Ontario? It's not like,
Mhm.
oh, I'm gonna settle in Ontario. Okay, you can't do that. Ontario, you know how huge it is, right? We drove
Yeah.
Ontario for 5 days before we move out of Ontario. That's how big it is. Okay,
So
so
even after 5 days of your journey, you saw that you were still in Ontario.
yes, I was like, is it not gonna end? Is it? I want to move out of Ontario now. It
Oh
was
my
a
god,
long journey,
that's
Ontario.
hilarious.
Ontario is so huge,
And
you
that's not
know.
even from the corner of Ontario. It's from Toronto, which is like the
Like
middle, right?
here, Ontario, like Toronto is down here, right?
Oh, okay.
For you to go to Manitoba, you have to
You have to go
drive
all
up
the
and
way.
because there's
Yes.
huge lakes, the Superior Lake. You cannot drive across the lake, so you have to drive like
Oh,
yeah.
that's a lot.
But yeah,
Okay. Did you want to say something?
no, they're like those are my lessons. Move out if you have to,
Be
and then you will
spontaneous.
find a job. As long as you, I think my tips, like when finding a job, is you have to open your option. Don't focus on one city. Don't focus on one designation. They use different terms here when you're applying for position, right? If you're an HR assistant, they might use another term. So don't just focus on one thing. Open
Mhm.
your option. If you're open to go to different provinces, do that because
Mhm.
you will not regret it. You know.
And that's
Yeah.
something I preach too, because I also, when I moved to Canada, I moved to Nova Scotia just like you. And then when it came time to like chase better jobs or like better paying jobs or higher jobs, I then now moved out to where the job came. And I didn't just move to Toronto because, I moved to a little area called Ancaster in Ontario because that's
Mhm.
where I got the job. And I just followed the job. And then when I now got a job in Toronto, then now I'm in Toronto, right? So, I guess it's easier for you and I who, didn't come here with kids,
Yes.
because then we can just up and leave, right? We don't have to think about the school for the kids and all those things. It's just about us as adults.
Yes. So you have to like find your home base, you
Yeah.
know, just find that. It's not like necessarily like right away when you arrive in Canada. So
Mm-hmm.
because sometimes if you arrive in Nova Scotia and you will think like that's the moment you will realize that okay, maybe the other province will offer more like better opportunities for you, then do that. You don't have to stay in one spot for the rest of your life. Okay.
One thing I like to tell people is if you could move halfway across the world to come to Canada, you can move provinces.
True,
Like if you
true.
can move all the way from Nigeria or from the Philippines to Canada, that's a huge move.
Yes.
What now stops you from moving within the provinces, like between different provinces? So that's kind of how I'd like to look at it. So you shared some lessons with us, but I'll ask you, what is your toughest part of about living in Canada so far?
For me, again, of course, I came here as like single, right? And then I met my partner, which is like completely different, non-Filipino. So he has different perspective in life, different culture, right? So that was my toughest part. As like being Filipino here, we like in our culture, we're always together. We always celebrate together. I don't know
Mhm.
with Nigerians. I think you guys are like that, right?
Yeah, it's the same. We have like communities of
You
Nigerians.
have
And
that
yeah.
community. We also have that. And as having a partner like German, he is so individualistic.
Mm,
He do his thing on his own, and that's
mm,
the hardest like part for me to merge
mhm.
to the culture in like Filipino culture here, and then having it like my partner. So then like that's the hardest part. Like sometimes like Nigerian will have like a little tribe, and then Filipino will have a little tribe. So that sometimes we create that barrier to
Yeah.
to know like each culture, right? So
Mhm.
yeah, so that's like the hardest part for me to merge with other culture.
Right. But now, obviously, like after 3 years, you guys obviously have a good synergy moving from place to place.
And one more thing.
Yeah.
When they legalize marijuana, okay, so
Yeah.
that one, I have not tried that ever.
Okay.
So like in school, that's normal.
Yeah.
So in Nova school is normal, right?
Yeah.
So we like what I like about like in Nova Scotia in our school, we're friends. After school, we go together, we eat together. If it's um, break time, and then after school, we have a party or something like that. So sometimes if you're not used to that, okay, prepare for it. It's normal
Mhm.
to smell marijuana. And
Yeah.
until now, I have not tried it.
Right.
I'm not gonna
So,
push you to try it, you
yeah.
know? Oh, try
So,
this one.
so
So,
for those of you who don't know, who are watching, marijuana is legal in Canada.
mm,
So you're gonna walk down the street and you're gonna smell marijuana. It's
yes,
everywhere. It's everyone's everyone. It's all over the place. So for us coming from where we're from, and it's illegal. For us, it's like a shock. Like, oh my gosh, why
it's
are
like,
people doing
yeah.
anything about it? Right? You could go walk into a shop and get like edibles. Yeah, that I can understand that.
I have not tried it until now. I want to try
Mhm.
it just to experience it, not to be like addicted. It's not addictive, like I don't know. But like when I asked my partner, it's like alcohol. Okay,
Yeah.
marijuana is alcohol. It will give you the same experience. So what's like the
Mm-hmm.
difference between alcohol and marijuana? So I had that mentality that marijuana is bad, blah blah blah, because again from the Philippines that's unusual for us and illegal. So once you're here, you'll change that mentality that marijuana is normal. So, and they're not like bad people, you
Hold
know.
on, MC. I don't know if you can hear me. I'm having technical issues.
Okay. But I'll give a quick shout out here while we're waiting for Faye.
MC, I can't hear you anymore. Hold on one moment.
Oh, I can hear
Somebody called my
you.
phone and now it's all messed up. Hold on.
Wow, let me see if I have some
Okay,
viewers.
okay, I can hear you now. Okay, I can hear you now.
Yeah. So let's
Okay.
get back to marijuana. But yeah, guys, okay, marijuana is not like drug, like the what do you call that, heroin or something like that. It's
Narcotics,
normally,
hard drugs, yeah. It's legal here. And it's
yeah.
big
But
business. It's
how
big
about
business here.
you?
I'm sorry?
How about you? Like when they legalized marijuana, how did
No,
you?
see, me, I don't even have an opinion about that. From where I'm from, marijuana is like a big deal. Like if you're caught with it, you're going to jail. Like it's a serious thing.
Yeah,
So
it is a serious
the way I see it,
offense.
it's just that I'm just gonna like respect the culture of it here. Like
Mhm.
made it legal, okay. Maybe one day I'll try an edible. Who knows? I don't know.
Well, they say the edible is like, I have like few friends, they try the edible and then the next day they're almost dead because they're, I don't know, like there's an effect, you know. I don't
Yeah.
know, but
But
I've not tried it, guys.
you're adventurous. So how about you try it and then let me know how it turns out?
If it's something that will go to my system, I'm afraid. But anyway, so it's like toughest part, like the culture. If you have another partner and then you have
Mhm.
to merge with other community,
Yeah,
and some things like things here in Canada, you have to adopt like marijuana,
yeah.
right?
MC, have you experienced any form of racism?
Oh, yes. I think anywhere you go, you will experience racism, right?
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it really depends on the person, how sensitive they are. Sometimes they're not trying to, like, it's sometimes how you perceive things, right? But for me, what happened to me before I moved to Toronto, so we had that housemate
In Nova
um
Scotia?
in Nova Scotia. So we rented a 3 bedroom house and then we rented 2 rooms, right? So we did like house hacking to save money. However, before we moved out, we had that an argument with our housemate. It was a very sensitive issue with them, but I think she took it like very personal, and then we had that argument. The next day I found my car, it was smashed. My, what do you call that, rear window or something like that, like the back of your car, it was smashed.
The like the screen at the back. Oh my
Yes,
gosh.
after that argument. So I don't know if she did it, but like she was like the last person that I had like a crazy argument with. So yeah, so I had to fix my car. And then I'm just saying that here in Canada, if you hear something like sugar coated videos about Canada, it's so nice in Canada, peaceful, crime rate, there's no crime rate. That's not true, okay? Sometimes you will
Mhm, that's
experience
true.
things, something like that, like what
Mhm.
happened to me. Someone's gonna smash your car, someone's gonna do stupid things with you. So you have to be vigilant when it comes to that. So my lesson with that is whenever you're looking for a roommate, make sure that you look at their references. Make sure that you know that person or someone knew recommended that person. It's so hard to
Mhm.
live with another person that you don't know. So
Yeah.
yeah, so make sure that you have to be vigilant. And here
Mhm.
in Canada, you will experience, and they're like crazy people too that you will
Yeah.
encounter. You have to be prepared. Yeah.
Yeah. You remind me of my experiences in Nova Scotia. But as much as the people are nice, there are some crazy people as well, and they're
Yes.
everywhere, right? So, it's very important for us to still stay vigilant. I know a lot of people coming from Nigeria, when they get here, they're more relaxed. A lot of people don't even lock their doors, or we
Yes.
Nigerians, I feel like we still do, but you're gonna like hear from other people like Canadians, like, oh, I never lock my front door. Oh, I never lock my car door. Nothing happens, nothing happens. Don't follow them and do that. Oh, lock your door.
Just be vigilant. You don't know what's gonna happen. Like
Mhm. You still
I
have to
have
be
not
vigilant.
expect I have not expected that I'll have
That's an expense
like
that
something
so
gonna
did your insurance have to sort that for you, or
what? Pardon me?
did you go to insurance for that to get your car
Oh,
fixed?
No, my insurance will not cover it. So I
Wow.
had a very basic insurance. And
Okay.
then like the funny part is when we reported to the police station and then they came over, but if it's like a civil case between your housemate, it's not a criminal case, gonna they're not gonna do anything unless it's a criminal case. So if ever you will encounter that kind of thing, like civil case with someone, don't waste your time with police officer, because they're gonna advise you to maybe put that in court, put that in writing, report it in court, something that we don't want to like waste our time. We just move out.
Mm,
And it's good that we are about to move out.
yeah, that
Mhm.
is something. That's an experience. Wow. Smash your car.
Yes, I was like,
That's something.
crazy people that will like. Why would you smash a car,
Yeah,
right?
and that's not, and just for context, house hacking, like, so what you were trying to do was that, you got a house, like a three-bedroom house, and you rented maybe one room out of it to somebody else. So a
Mhm.
lot of people do that here, especially students, because you want to save money, right? So you don't want to just rent a house that's like, let's say 1,500 or $2,000, and you're paying for all the rooms when you're only using one room. So you can
Yeah.
actually get, they call it roommates, but for us it's actually flatmates, right? Because you're not sharing a room, you're just sharing the house or housemate.
Yes.
um so that's what happened, and then she ended up getting a crazy housemate.
Yes, because I didn't ask for references because
Yeah,
I didn't know it's a thing here to ask for
yeah,
references. So
when you want
this
to
is
rent
something that
here.
you have to keep in mind.
Yeah, when you want to rent here, that's why they ask for your credit history, references, like from the
Yes.
previous landlord to say yes, you were a good tenant and things like that. So those are some of the documents they ask for here. So let's just round up, and I'll leave you with this question. What is your top tip for international students or newcomers to Canada?
Yeah, I think the highlight of my experience during my transition is that we always move and we're not afraid of new things in our like in front of us. And we always think that everything is going to be figured out once you're in a new place, you know.
Hmm.
And we're not like rich people that afford to live like for a year without jobs. We always think that you will get a job as long as you have the right skill, as long as, again, we talk about it, Faye, that like strategies that you need to learn when you're finding a job. You need to have that networking skills if you have to learn it before you come here to Canada. That's really important
Yeah,
to have.
yeah.
Some like most of my jobs I got it through networking. And again, um, don't afraid to risk to move to Canada or to different places, because what if I did not move? You
Hmm.
know, I'm still gonna be in Dubai right now and doing the same thing for
Hmm.
maybe 10 years now. So
Hmm.
I invested my money. I have like savings in Dubai before, and then I was like in the middle of, I was thinking where to move. Am I going back to the Philippines? Am I going to another place? And I think I made the right choice. Yeah, you will experience some challenges, but at the end of the day, it's all worth it. So that's the
Yeah,
major tip.
it is.
Don't afraid to risk your your money coming here. Just make sure that you are prepared for consequences. So before you made
Mhm.
like a decision, you also think what are the consequences, and we are ready for that. You know. But
Yeah,
yeah, that's my
that's
major.
a beautiful tip. Thank
Just go
you.
to Canada now. Pack your
Yes,
things. Go to
that,
Dubai. That's it. You have to be
just do
spontaneous,
it.
right? You will
Thank
not.
you,
You will.
MC.
Sometimes you will not maybe go somewhere if you don't take the leap. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
If you don't book the flight, you don't apply for the visa, you're not gonna go somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm?
Right. So you just have to do it. Put your mind to it
Do
and
it.
stay
Just do it.
focused.
As
Yeah.
Nike said.
Yes, exactly. Well, thank you, MC. It's been such a pleasure and a delight having you on my
So
channel.
pleasure.
Guys, please don't forget to go subscribe to MC's channel, SLE Canada. We have a video that we filmed. Is it up yet?
No, that will be
Okay.
in 2 weeks.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay. So
I'm gonna
we have a video coming on her channel where I was the guest. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss that. Give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel as well, please do so. It was so great chatting with you, MC.
edit.
I hope we
It's
can do
so
this
nice
again
to
next
be with
time.
you. And these people, guys, I feel you guys. Once you're here in Canada, if you saw us like walking on the street, say hi to us, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it would be so lovely to end up meeting people, physically in person here in Canada. That would be so amazing. So yeah, you've heard a lot about all the experiences in the different provinces. So now all your questions have been answered about British Columbia, Nova Scotia, Ontario. So if
Yes,
you have
yes.
more, don't hesitate to leave it in the comment section. We'll be watching out for your comments. And yeah, thank you very much for joining in, and I'll see you in my next video.
I'll see you
Bye,
guys.
guys.
Bye.
Bye, guys.